So continuing on, sorry that stopped there, but I go to Oakland, California, take a bus down. I get down there and I go to the headquarters of the Lucky Stores, which is a large grocery store chain throughout the West now. It's Alameda, as I recall, where the headquarters was. And I walk in and I say, I want to talk to the president. I figured that if I started talking to secretaries and on up, it would have to tell my story over and over again. So I said I wanted to talk to the president. Well, what about? Well, something I need to personally tell him. Well, they brought out a vice president who to talk with me. And I told him, I want to report a burglary of one of your stores. Oh? Which one? Lucky Store over in Diamond District in Oakland. Well, who did it? I did. And the vice president, not having probably encountered that too often, goes back in and talks with what was presumably the president, comes back and says, well, what do you want to do about it? I said, well, pay it back. Well, at first he asked me, do you have the money? Which was $1,500 and some dollars. I said, no, I don't. Then he said, well, what do you want to do about it? And I said, pay it back. So he goes back in and he talks to the president again. Comes back and asks me, says, would you sign a sworn statement that you stole that money? I said, yes. And so he gets a statement made up, which I sign. And then he says, pay us back as you can. So shortly after that, I go back in the military service and enlist for 3 years. And I have an allotment taken out of my Coast Guard pay every month to repay and send that to the Lucky Store Corporation. And at the end of the 3 years of my enlistment in the Navy, I receive a letter. And I'm going to show you a copy of that letter because it's probably one of the most important letters I have ever obtained. And it says, thank you for having repaid this money. However, in an overview of this situation, we discover that you have overpaid us by $10.21, which we are enclosing a check for that amount. Now, I did not realize until recently just how significant that was. It enabled a lot of different things to take place in my life. But I found out that my ability to go down and confront the store leaders and to take responsibility for that action is seldom done by people who break the law, who do things which are wrong. I found that out in working with TA, with 12-step program, not TA, with the 12-step program. It's step 8 is to make good on anybody that you have hurt throughout your life. Anybody that because of your drinking or stealing or whatever has been hurt by your behavior since you became an alcoholic, and before, presumably. And how difficult it is for people who are addicted to take the responsible way out and deal with it because they know it's going to cost them something. For me, it was a possibility of jail. For what period of time? 2-3 years possibly. But instead of those 2 or 3 years in jail, I was going on with my life and made good. And that to me probably Where I obtained the character sufficient to go down to Oakland, I don't know. Except, I think, for those of you who are LDS, it came from the Spirit self that I was, that I am, before I came to this earth. That there was in me enough good strength that I could make that decision here on this earth at that point in my life and make good. And if there's anything I could leave you with is, don't let it ride. Make good, because it changed my life to what I am today, as you will discover in our next session, number 3. Thank you, friends. Good talking with you. Goodbye.